A college campus, a sunny afternoon, a crowd of thousands gathered for a political debate. But in a single, horrifying second, the exchange of ideas was silenced. It wasn't a riot, not a brawl or a mass panic. It was a single, precise shot. And with it, a movement's most prominent voice was silenced forever. What happened in Orem, Utah, on September 10, 2025, wasn't just a murder. It was, in the words of a sitting governor, a political assassination. Who was the target? Charlie Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA, a leading voice for conservative youth, a close ally of President Donald Trump. Who was the shooter? As of now, a ghost, a phantom figure firing from a rooftop, a single bullet that shattered a life and sent shockwaves across a nation already on edge. What could possibly have motivated such an act, and why, in the heart of a public debate, did an assassin decide that words were no longer enough? The events of September 10th unfolded under a stark white tent at Utah Valley University. The atmosphere was charged, but in a way that was typical for a Charlie Kirk event. A crowd of around 3,000 students and supporters had gathered for his Prove Me Wrong debate, a key stop on his American Comeback Tour. The entire event was being live-streamed, a standard practice for Kirk, who built his career on direct engagement with his audience. As Kirk engaged with an audience member about the topic of mass shootings, a single, sharp crack echoed across the courtyard. Eyewitnesses described a moment of confusion. Was it a firecracker? A balloon? Then the terrifying reality set in. Video footage, now circulating widely, shows the exact moment the bullet struck Kirk in the neck. He collapsed instantly, and the crowd erupted in a panicked stampede for cover. First responders and private security rushed to the stage, attempting to render aid as a chaotic scene unfolded around them. Kirk was transported to a local hospital, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The Utah governor, Spencer Cox, would later declare the act a political assassination, a stark and chilling label for a crime that has left a nation searching for answers. The question remains, in an age of unprecedented political division, who would resort to murder to silence a political opponent? And what motive could possibly justify such a brutal act? To understand the gravity of Charlie Kirk's death, you must first understand his rise. Born in the suburbs of Chicago, Kirk wasn't a traditional political figure. He was a product of the digital age, a young conservative activist who saw an opportunity to engage a new generation. At just 18 years old, he co-founded Turning Point USA with Bill Montgomery. Their mission? To advocate for conservative values on high school and college campuses. Turning Point USA grew from a fledgling organization into a conservative powerhouse. It became a prominent force on nearly 4,000 campuses, largely due to Kirk's confrontational style and his ability to attract massive online audiences. He built a brand on fiery debates, viral videos, and a no-holds-barred approach to the culture wars. He was a central figure in the conservative movement, a close confidant of President Donald Trump, and a voice that, for many young people, defined their political identity. His rise was not without controversy. Kirk was a polarizing figure, often drawing criticism for his provocative statements on race, gender, and politics. He was a staunch supporter of gun rights, and his views on the topic were often debated. In a strange and tragic twist of fate, the very last public question he answered was about gun violence. This deeply symbolic moment now adds an unsettling layer to his murder. The immediate aftermath of the shooting was chaos. The single shot, a seemingly impossible act of precision, pointed to a calculated crime, not a random act of violence. Utah Valley University police, along with local and state law enforcement, quickly secured the campus. But the shooter, they found, was no longer there. Authorities believe the shot was fired from a nearby building's rooftop, an elevated position that would have given a clear line of sight to the stage. The investigation began immediately, but with few leads. Eyewitnesses provided conflicting reports. Some social media videos showed an elderly man being detained, but law enforcement quickly clarified that he was not the shooter and was released after questioning. The same happened with another person who was detained. As of today, the shooter remains at large. This is a crucial point. No one has been charged. This is not an investigation into a suspect. It's a manhunt for a killer. The FBI is now a lead agency in the investigation, and a digital media tip line has been established, urging anyone with information to come forward. Investigators are poring over hours of video footage from attendees and campus security cameras, hoping to find a single piece of evidence that can identify the individual responsible. With no suspect in custody, the legal proceedings for this case are, as of now, non-existent. There is no defendant, no court date, and no motive to present to a jury. The focus is entirely on the investigation, and the pressure is immense. The case has been labeled a political assassination, which elevates its significance to the highest levels of law enforcement. Utah Governor Spencer Cox has publicly stated that the death penalty is an option in the state, a clear message to the perpetrator that they will face the full weight of the law if captured. In the immediate aftermath, the tragedy has transcended partisan divides. Public figures from across the political spectrum, including President Donald Trump, former Presidents Joe Biden and Barack Obama, and Vice President Kamala Harris, have publicly condemned the violence. This unified front highlights the seriousness of the crime. However, the emotional impact is far more profound. For Kirk's supporters, it's a loss of a voice they felt understood them. For his family, a wife and 2 young children, it is a devastating and senseless tragedy. The incident has also sparked a nationwide conversation about the safety of political figures and the escalating threat of political violence. The very campus where the shooting took place, a place intended for the free exchange of ideas, is now a symbol of a national wound. Will this tragedy serve as a turning point, pushing for greater security at public events, or will it simply be another chapter in a cycle of escalating hostility? The murder of Charlie Kirk is a shocking and deeply unsettling event. It's a crime that was not only public, but was also caught on video, making it an undeniable and visceral part of our history. Yet, despite the thousands of witnesses and the wealth of digital evidence, the most crucial question remains unanswered. As a nation, we are left to wonder: who was the ghost on the rooftop? What was their motive? And in an era where political discourse is so often defined by vitriol, is this tragedy a final bloody punctuation mark? Or is it just the beginning? Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to follow this developing story as investigators work to bring the killer to justice, and we explore the wider implications of this tragic event on American politics.